Howdy, guys. Howdy, guys. I figured I would just try to get on here and do a live randomly since I've been slacking for months. Again, I only have minimal lighting just because I don't have the equipment to get the stuff set up right. So we're just making do with what we got. Don't know if I'll get lucky enough to catch anybody at this moment. So it's quite late here. I think we're, who knows, 11 or something like that. Sorry, I'm in the shot there. Yeah, 11:17 my time. We got one sneaking in. Howdy, howdy. There he is. No problem, Chief. Stone cold. First one in. Yeah, finally, I told you I was going to be soon, but it wasn't that soon. But we'll let you get out there and get home. I got my jacked up lighting set up again, but it's all I got right now. I don't have enough cable and stuff to set things up the way I'd want, but it's all good. It's all about just getting on there. If I don't do it now, I never will. So we got shadows going and stuff, but it's all good. Yeah, I was watching quite a few lives, jumping between some of them, and then started driving home after church, and same thing, can't really chat and stuff because you're driving, so that's fine. Yeah, threw the topic up there as why haven't I gone on vacation, even though I had. It was just something I didn't record. I just went to visit my dad in Mississippi, and ended up getting in an accident. Some knucklehead lady pulled out in front of us, some 20-year-old girl or whatever she was, pulled out in front of us and smashed my dad's truck and totaled her mom's vehicle. That was my vacation. Had two of y'all for a split second there. Yeah, hopefully you're doing okay. Nothing fancy though. I just figured I'd just throw the camera on and start something, so that way I can actually do what I told you I would do. Sorry, try to rearrange that. Let's see if I can get this in a little closer. That might help with the, sorry about the flopping around. That way it just kind of helps bring the light in a little more. Thanks, hola, Ruth. Sorry, let me trying to get this arranged just right. I don't do the vertical. It's good to see you, Ruth. See you. Can y'all hear me okay? Is the audio picking up just right? Yes. It's either Poe or Poo. Yeah, it went for like 2.5 minutes at least before anybody picked up on the live. So I'm just up here. Yeah, I got my diaper on. It's full too. Just sitting in it, squishing it. Yeah, that's rough. That's cringe material right there. Yeah, I got my special diaper on and my decorative sock. It's good. I have no clue because all I do is just hit live and hope it's picking up okay. I should have hooked my. I forgot to grab my microphone. I actually have the nice DJI microphone, the mic mini. I could probably try to grab it. I don't know if it'll connect properly or not. I think I can hook to the thing through Bluetooth. Yeah, so now I'm obviously not watching the movie. I don't have anything turned on, the TV or anything. I just figured I'd just go live. The thing that's tough is forcing myself to look over this direction at the camera because I'm looking at myself, which throws my vision over. I mentioned that the first time I did it. Okay, maybe because I brought the camera slightly closer to me, the phone. Maybe it's picking up a little better. Hard to say. But anyway, yeah, so it's like the only kind of vacation I've had going on was that, like I'd mentioned, went and saw my dad, Mississippi. I was down there for 2 weeks. And like 3 days before I was supposed to come back, this lady pulls out in front of us and smashes his truck. And so we're in the process of trying to deal with all that and hopefully get the insurance stuff handled. Yeah, thankfully, my dad's disabled, so he's not the fastest on his, trying to maneuver and stuff necessarily. Thankfully, he put his foot onto the brake. He has to use his hand to move his leg back and forth. He didn't have to do that in the past, but whatever. That's why I went down there. He's getting weak. He's weaker right now. I don't know what the problem is, but he puts his foot on the brake and he said, she's not stopping. And she's like pulling out 55 miles an hour, we're doing on the highway. And they have to stop at this intersection, and she's just rolling out there, like creeping out into the intersection. And I think at the very end, she like starts accelerating and just nails the front corner. But thankfully, my dad pulled to the left hard. There was nobody in the oncoming lane, and he just trashed the front end of that vehicle. And it was slightly newer Ford Escape. It was pretty nice looking. It was her mom's. And it wasn't nice afterwards, but we ended up having to have my dad's truck towed back, and then we had my sister's friend come out, and he was able to pull some of the metal out and stuff like that, and get it all to where we can at least drive it. It's not a perfect scenario, but my dad had no vehicle, and he was super freaking out because he's not sure if he's going to have a vehicle to get to the hospital, and he was hurting from the accident. So whenever she pulled in from the side, we went to the left, and we clipped the front, and my dad's truck rode up on top of her front end. But if he would have just went straight on without pulling to the left hard, he would have T-boned her and possibly killed her, because that truck is a 4-door diesel. It's super heavy, and it's a Ford Beast. So just totally nailed the front end of that car, and it was, just thrashed it. So we got 3 watching. Thanks for coming in, guys. So that's vacation for me, is coming down there, and at least I got to visit with my dad, and nobody was massively hurt though, thankfully. And my nephew was in the vehicle, myself, my dad, or my dad and myself. And so she went to the hospital just to get checked, I guess, but she was up and walking around, thankfully. So I'm sure it freaked her out. I don't know how, she must have been dozed off at the wheel. I don't even know what was happening, but she had mentioned like she was trying to drive into town to go get marijuana to the, she tells that to the paramedic when she was driving, and then, the cop, ended up telling us that stuff later. But anyway, at least I got to go somewhere. But I'm still, so right now, basically what's going on, here I put videos out about just make it happen in life and everything, and life's happening, and I can promise you that. So because my dad's not been the best, I've had to go down a couple times to visit with him and check on him and help him out. And one of the things I did, thankfully, was I partially had done the brakes on the truck. The brakes weren't working fully. So I'd done the brakes on that truck. And if I hadn't, we would have just completely toasted that vehicle, because my dad would have hit the brakes and it wouldn't have stopped properly at all. So I'd gotten the brakes working enough. We had to, get other parts. I only had half of it done because we ran out of time. But the other side was fine. It just, one side was leaking. So I'd gotten that side fixed. Otherwise, we'd have just nailed that lady at like 55, 60 miles an hour. But anyway, so thankfully everybody was okay. We'll end up getting something, hopefully, for pain and suffering, from my knee hit the dash. And luckily none of us were permanently hurt or anything like that. And same with the lady, but my knee hit the dash. My dad, he got tossed around. So, yeah, right. Procrastinator. Well, I am, I've got my moments for darn sure. But yeah, so we got a lawyer right off the bat. My dad did. I just told him get a lawyer and let them deal with it. They'll get a chunk like 40%, but it's better than nothing, because the insurance just lowballs everybody. So maybe I can walk away with a couple grand or something like that. It's nothing major. It's definitely nothing worth the fact of getting into an accident, but at least we're all able to walk away. But anyway, been talking with a friend of mine, and he went on a cruise recently, and so was planning on trying to split a cruise with him and see if I could do something anywhere from 5 to 8 days. I've got jack for money, no money at all. I'm like completely just beat down royal, but it's just life, So I started to say what happened was going down there and trying to help my dad. And then whenever I came back here, I got this little truck I bought just for $400. Sorry, guys, with the voice. So I bought this truck for $400, completely running. But when I got back, I was about to go do a delivery route, and I didn't know it at the time, but the timing belt, the teeth just sheared right off on it. So the bottom of the engine's spinning, and the top's not, because there's no belt that's coordinating at all. So anyway, that wasn't any good, because it put me down for like 2 weeks. So not only was I spending money out, I was also losing money because I use that truck for deliveries and such, and getting around and trying to do mechanical work and all that stuff. So eventually, I finally got all the parts because I ordered a. First, I got the what was it got first? I got a fuel pump because I thought the fuel pump died on me, but I guess it hadn't. That wasn't the problem. Um, and then I also ordered an ignition coil, but the stuff was dirt cheap. It was like $36. I got like a open box new item, but somebody returned it, I guess, or whatever. Perfectly fine. It was $36 for a fuel pump, brand spanking new. So I put that in there. That took a little while because I had to order something else each time I get into all this stuff. The truck's a 92, but the guy didn't take the best of care of it. So I'm kind of like fixing everything up that wasn't going properly. But stuff will break as I'm, driving it. But it's earned its money already, paid for itself completely. And eventually I'm going to get the clutch done on it and all that stuff. But so I started to tell you, the cruises. My friend went on a cruise. His boss, he was with him for 10 years. So he bought him a short little cruise for 5 days. And then his dad got to go with him too. And once he did that, he was like, oh, yeah, I'm definitely going on another cruise. So I'm trying to coordinate with him. He's down in near Galveston. And what we're going to do is pitch in half and half. And I'll get one of these. I'm hoping I can do this 8-day cruise that goes down to Mexico and Honduras. And that will be my out of the country cruise initially. And I was seeing $380 for that cruise, all in, taxes and everything. So it was like 75-85% off or something stupid. Anyway, if I could do that, that'll help, so that way I can get the ball rolling and actually doing some content, I guess, on a vacation of some sort. Going down to Mississippi, there's nothing to show anybody. It's basically going from the boondocks where my dad lives into some little dinky town. It's just trees lining the side of the highway on the way in and out. There's nothing look out there, look at. So I didn't bother trying to record anything or make any videos, when I went out there. So anyway, so have you made it back to the house yet? Stone cold. And I don't know if Rudy's still watching. Rudy, Ruth, all the multiple. For the long forms, I've only done those 2 original ones. I haven't bothered with recording anything else because I've been, in this financial beatdown because the truck kept breaking on me and stuff. So I was pulling some money in, but I was, taking 2 steps forward and 1 step back each time it seemed, trying to keep up. Not a bottle shop. So this bottle shop, is that like the liquor store or something? I don't know what that is. Right? No worries. Yeah, you just hear this nasally voice going in the background, which is fine. I appreciate you here. And there's a sneaky third person in here. Not sure who that is. They can chime in if they want. But yeah, so I'm trying to work it out. So that I can't remember the exact spots. One I thought was Cozumel. There's a spot in Honduras that I don't remember the name of it. I'd have to look at it. Beers, low carb. Yeah, I limit myself to none. So I just drink coffee and tea all the time, pretty much. But I'm not going to show you all, but I'm getting a little gut on. I mean, I already had a gut to begin with, but I'm getting too much because I've been just consuming, too much carbs and stuff, which I got to cut that out 100%. I got to get back to doing a keto diet and, get it to where I'm doing healthy stuff and get myself in order. Eventually, I want to do some stuff like parasite cleanse, that type of thing, so you can get the body healthier, get rid of toxins in the body. So I need to do stuff like that. just to make my body get back on track. I'm losing all the hair and stuff with all the stress I've been under. I mean, not like I had a whole lot of hair to begin with, but it's not helping. And I think there's other stuff that's going on. So one thing that happens out here, I'm in Colorado. So, with any kind of tap water, they have all these chemicals and junk in there. And I think one of the things that's not helping is the fact that we have like chlorine, which you can easily smell. As soon as you put the water out of the tap, I could smell all kinds of chlorine in it, among other stuff that they put in there, fluoride and all that. But I think it's not helping. It's messing with my skin and stuff on top of things. So I think, with even though I'm trying to use proper shampoos and stuff that are good, but all of it's trash, it seems, it's still affecting me. So that's why I want to go out of the country, because get a lot healthier stuff. Yeah, I try not to drink any of the tap water. What I do is I filter it, but I've been buying like the bottled water and try to drink that. But the problem is with chlorine and everything, even if you're not drinking it, it's still like when you're taking a shower, your whole entire body is absorbing all the chlorine and stuff. Your skin just pulls it in right out of the water. So I'm just getting poisoned the whole time I'm taking a shower, but I have nothing I could do about it. I mean, it's the way it is. And it's not like my house is in some junky area or something, it's just typical for out here. They're basically just poisoning us big time in America. Everything. They're sitting there flying planes over, spraying that trash in the air, chemtrails and everything. They're poisoning the water. They're poisoning the food. Every single thing that's going on, they're poisoning us. And it's not just here. I mean, other countries too, but you at least have a better chance if you go out of the country to, get something healthier. So it's hard, it's like you don't know where to go. And I don't have the money to be trying to just put like a whole house filtration system that costs thousands of dollars. It's just sad that you have to put up with the nonsense. It's just unfortunate, but I'm working on, hopefully I can try to get the house sold at some point. The problem is the market is terrible right now, like in America overall, but the area I'm in Colorado, it's it's not the worst, but it's just with all the things that are going on with how hard it is for people to get a loan for a house. I'd have to be lucky enough to find an investor and take a massive hit, getting like a cash offer or something. And so I haven't been able to just put the house on the market and do anything with it. I got to have a roof over my head somewhere. And then on top of it, because of missing all this extra income, what it ended up doing to me was getting the beat down. And so now I've got where I was late on multiple things where I had perfect credit before. Now I don't. And so I was just trying to do the best I could to keep up with things, and, just took a kick in the teeth. But I just take everything in stride, You just got to roll with the punches. God knows what he's doing, and he'll handle the situation. Now, a lot of times we bring stuff on ourselves, so it's like if I do something that was stupid, I get the smackdown, It's just the way it goes. You live and learn, which I've learned plenty. I'm 51 years old, so I just take my beatings. God got that belt out, and he got that razor belt out, and he whipped my rear end. You know what I'm saying? So, but I mean, y'all got anything going on? I still see that third person sneaky in here. Oh, I see it. It's Izat. Good to see you, brother. I've jumped into your, whenever I come across you, I jump into your channel and see what you got new going on once in a while. But a lot of times I just watch a bunch of Filipinas. I say a bunch. It's probably about 5. Same old, same old. I'll still see some of them where I'm not subscribed, but I'll be going through the live, where you just swipe up and just jump through and see what's happening on the different lives. And I'll come across some of them I hadn't seen in a while. I don't know exactly how long I'll do a live. I'm just kind of just rolling with it. It don't matter. I just figured it's time for people to get an answer of why I've been gone so long with doing anything. I've got to create a lot of videos, and I'm trying to figure out, like some people are telling me, just create content of selling things, even, or selling the house, anything that's leading up to getting free and going and trying to do little vacations and stuff. Eventually, what's happening is I'm going to have to be down there with my dad because he's just too weak right now. I don't. He's 74 years old, but he's disabled. He was disabled since he was age 26. So my sister's down there, but she's trying to do the best she can just to work her rear end off and to put a roof over her head because she has one of her teenage daughters is with her. The other teenage daughter is with her dad almost the whole time. Hey, Daniel Edmonds is in the house from Australia. So now we got two Australians in the house and a Filipina and somebody from India. So that's good. Everything's international, here I am stuck in America trying to get out, and everybody else is partying out in the other countries. One of these days I'll probably be able to visit Australia, if that goes well. I'll probably have to do that with like a cruise where I end up in like Sydney or something like that. So you're done with ice cream. I saw you made a post, Daniel, that you were sad. I don't know what that was about, but I saw it, and I saw you a few times in the channel. So we got Stone Cold in the house, Daniel. I'm guessing Izat and Ruth, unless somebody else is come and gone. But that's cool. I mean, I'm a baby little channel. I think I've got 83 subscribers so far. Yeehaw. I can't do anything like show a little leg or whatever. That ain't gonna cut it. I guess if there's a sicko or something, then yeah, maybe. But all I got's my big honking nose. Yeah, see that right there? Got my big honking nose to represent with. It's like John's always saying on this guy on Joy's channel, video producer John. He mentions he's got a big nose as well. Yeah, so you still out driving back, Joe? I don't know I know you changed your name, so you don't have your real name on there. So I don't know if it's okay if I mention your name, if you want me to call you the Stone Cold or, Satchel, something. So, I mean, have you gone a lot of places, Joe? Any, like leaving Australia? Have you gone to a lot of places? I know Ruthie's been mainly stuck in, right in her little neck of the woods, which I understand. It's expensive to go places, and if you don't have the money, I mean, trying to keep the roof over your head's the main thing. Ruth's got wind tearing her place apart. Yeah, I know that feeling. It's sad. I feel bad because like whenever I can, I try to send a little bit to different friends that are Filipino or Filipina. But my level of broke. It's a different kind of thing. It's like I have a roof over my head. I have a house. I have a lot of garbage. I have stuff, right? But it's different because like my broke is okay. I owe tens of thousands of dollars, and okay, so some cornholes out there, and there's that other guy, Big Lon. I don't know if you remember him or seen him. Has this moron that's always like mimicking him, and I don't understand why, because the guy seems like he's a normal, down to earth guy. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why they keep doing that. That some clown is trying to play him, and he goes into channels and he tries to get because Big Lon covers so many Filipino channels that he's a moderator in, that they think it's him, and then they make him a mod, the fake one, and then he goes and wreaks havoc. And so that's frustrating. So hopefully that never happens to me. I mean, what do? You just try to report the clowns. Um, and I don't think I'd have anything to worry about. I mean, my channel is just minuscule. I haven't even hit 100 people yet on my, to do this. But anyway, so hopefully, I don't know if it's being back. I've got the camera sitting off of me about, I don't even know, 14 inches. And hopefully that's enough to where the sound comes in. I could go grab the microphone, but I think it'll be fine. Can you hear a slight echo? Because the way my house is, I'm up on the loft area, so it's wide open behind the camera, kind of. It just goes off a balcony down to the first floor, which is that way down there. And so the stairs are to my immediate right, and I'm up in the loft spot, which is kind of like my living room for me. There's an official living room downstairs, but I've never used it as that. It's just kind of like extra sitting area, just in, if people came and visited or something, I could kind of have them sit around the fireplace. Oh yeah, my eyeballs. Oh, look at this, y'all. Check out the blood. I don't know what happened. All I could come up with is that I hit myself in the eye while I was sleeping, because I brushed my teeth and went to bed. Everything was normal, and you should have saw how bad it was originally. It just like I busted a vessel. I don't know if I accidentally rubbed my eye or I whacked myself in the eye when I was sleeping, but something happened. Oh, so you banned somebody, huh? Yeah. So let me see here. I'm trying to do something here. Oops, sorry. I'm trying to, if I can get this to work. It's giving me a hard time. All right, I'm gonna do this, y'all. There we go. Now I got y'all as my moderators. Let's see here. I don't know who else is here. If Izat's still here, Daniel's here, maybe. Anyway, so yeah, so some guy, he's some clown. Yeah, that's the retarded. He's using your picture on top of it, huh? Yeah. Yeah, so that's ridiculous, but yeah, I know the frustration you had because there's channels where certain people are made mod, and then the next thing you know, it's just like they want to come down on like a hammer on everybody. I've got some of them. I mean, the person sneezes wrong or something, and they oh, timeout, whatever, you know. Oh man, yeah, I don't know. I don't understand people. There's trolls out there. I had this one individual, but I'll never name a name. And I think I mentioned it before, where they were talking publicly about doing something for somebody, which is cool. That's fine. And then I came in to the channel, and that individual wasn't there yet. And I asked if the person sponsored them, and they said yes. And because I'm talking about the individual who was making it public in the first place, they come in there and person's cussing me and oh you're a weak person and all this kind of nonsense. Yeah, I mean you got a like a group, very small group that are doing I just when I go in there, I almost don't even bother doing moderator duties, even though I'm a mod. But yeah, I've been in Ellen's channel just very minimally. Not that I have anything against going in there. It's just she's, I think, kind of successful now, so she's got plenty of mods and stuff. So I just pop in here and there. Sometimes I don't even say anything. I just lurk. So, how's your mom doing, by the way, Ruthie? Is she feeling okay? Have you gotten her to eat some red meat? That's what she needs. She needs to get some iron in her system. That's what I need to be doing. Like I said, I need to be eating properly. Yeah, so you can see that. Check that out. Just it's way better than it was. I don't know what I did, but it was like it was going around the edge of the eye right here. Just I broke a blood vessel for some reason. It's weird because I don't remember seeing it the night before. So all I can think is maybe when I was sleeping, I just rubbed my eyeballs. Has your brother Daniel gotten any better? Like I know he's always trying to walk and stuff. Has he improved, or is it just kind of like done? And he had the stroke and is gonna have to live with it the way it is. I don't know of anybody that's come back from a stroke like 100%. Yeah, what color are your eyes, Daniel? I never paid attention. I just see your face. At least he's not giving up, Danielson. But yeah, I mean, and then you could see I've got my bags a little bit under my eyes. That's not helping. I stay up too late, but it's two things. It's actually genetic slightly, and me not sleeping really well. Right? Yeah. So the phone I'm using, it's called a One Plus. I think it's a 12. Yeah, One Plus 12. Which sounds goofy when I'm saying it, but it's a One Plus brand, and it's a Model 12. It's a really good phone. Yeah, and this isn't the first time this has happened, and I think it's kind of a couple times on this one eyeball, at least. So I don't know what I'm doing. I must be buck wilding in my sleep and just, and I don't move usually, but for some reason I caught my eye and just got myself. Oh, so you still got the LDR going on? I'm trying to get the chat to come back up. There we go. Right? I'm acting out my dreams, but I rarely, if I'm dreaming, I never remember anything. I have to eat some whacked out stuff, like some off the wall food that I haven't eaten in a while, and then all of a sudden, sorry, I'm shaking the camera here. If I don't catch it in time, there it goes. Oh man, homeboy's going with the ring. He's gonna stick a noose around your neck, huh? Brother. Hopefully, as long as you find a good person, that's what it comes down to. I'm still hopeful that I could. I'm divorced. It's just the way it went down. I spent thousands and thousands of dollars doing the what do you call it, counseling and all kinds of stuff. Yeah. So right now it's a little on the warmer side. It's not terrible. I do have air conditioning in my house, so but I purposely put the thermostat pretty high just so it keeps it to where I'm just comfortable enough, but it ends up being about 79, 80 degrees in the house by the middle of the day. Yeah, so you're going to be heading out to the Philippines, Joe? that'll be awesome when you finally can. I can't go anywhere until, I mean, truly, like if I get that little vacation, thing worked out, the way I plan on doing it is there's this app that I'm using. Yeah, for me, I don't know what it is in Celsius, but it's like 80 degrees, so it gets probably 85, 90 out there lately. So, yeah, I'm just trying to make it happen. But I could turn the air down. I try to be frugal. Yeah, sorry to hear that. It's kind of like with my dad, but hopefully you can get through all that. Let me see. Is that lighting okay? Shifted it a little bit more. Got my shadows going. But I have this one guy, John, that's on Joy's channel. He's a great guy. Comes in there, super kind to everybody. Is always trying to be positive. He is actually going to be out there in the Philippines for work. He does like what is it? Broadcast kind of. I guess he works for a broadcast or channel or something like that. So he's out there. I don't know. They're doing something out in the Philippines. So he's out there, and he'll be out there. I don't think he's out there right now, but he will be. And he's trying to sell his house and get out there. Oh, is it spinning? Am I getting garbage signal? Yeah, I know it's probably hard. I'm sure, Daniel, for you to get out there too. Everybody's struggling with money and such. So, I mean, at one point I was making good money and I just took an absolute bath. I got hurt on a job. I think I mentioned that, but in the videos. But I got hurt on a job, not terribly, but um, I guess he didn't want me around as a liability or something. So he gave me a pathetic severance and kicked me out the door. So that's kind of the way that went down. That's kind of the beginning of the slow downhill, because then I just kind of earn money because my dad's been struggling. I have to kind of go back and forth, or have the ability to, just at the drop of a hat. Yeah, it's weird because I mean I should have extremely fast internet, but it doesn't. Just because it's good here doesn't mean on the other end. Obviously everything's going through YouTube, and I can't even imagine the bandwidth those guys have to have. But I have like 1,200 megs a second internet here. So, of course, it's not 1,200 going up. I think it's at least 35 or something like that. So, but yeah, I mean, just like, man, it's a bummer. I got that, and I can't tell. I see my phone. I hopefully it's the correct direction, because I don't have an iPhone. So my dad's in Mississippi, so it's like he's 1,317 miles, I think. That's if I visit my friend. If it's I drove straight to him, and usually I have to do that because my friend's down near the Houston area, so I can drive to his house and crash and stay at his place and hang out with him for a day or two, and then I finish driving to Mississippi, which is just across the border. Is where my dad lives from Louisiana. So that's the bottom part, way down there near the Gulf of America, the Gulf of Mexico. Um, we won't get into that, but so he's down pretty close. I think it drive about 45 minutes to an hour, and we'd be in right on the beach down there in Biloxi, Mississippi. Which is not super fancy, but it gets the job done. It's a decent enough place. So my friend, he's near Galveston, which is on the Gulf of America in Texas. So it's just kind of like it's not a midway point, because it's like I think 9.5 hours to get to his house or something like that, and then it's like 6.5 to get to my dad's from there. But it helps whenever I drive down there. It gives me the ability to drive and not be, like trying to kill myself doing 21 hours or so. Yeah, my mom passed away probably 8, 9 years ago. She had a brain aneurysm, and my dad kept her alive, I think, 13 and a half years. And doctors told her she probably would only live like 6. And then he brought her to a hospital and they killed her. So they literally killed her. We brought her in, said that she collapsed and something was wrong with her leg. Turns out that the graft that's in her leg when they were doing the dialysis, that had clotted, and it was preventing blood from flowing down to the bottom of her leg. So she got gangrene, and they tried to do an emergency surgery, which didn't work, and they ended up having to amputate her leg. And when that happened, her body basically just started shutting down, and 5 days later, that was the end of it. So it's all she wrote. So yeah, we're down to 2 that I see so far. So I'm guessing it's, the Australians in the house, Daniel and Joe. Now number 3's back in here, so who knows? I'm sure Ruth is, might be busy trying to deal with whatever. But I mean, anybody that shows up in my life, I'm appreciative. I had Joe on my mind because he asked about it, and I was like, well, I better quit slacking off and start a live, at least chat about something. But going down on a cruise, the ones I've been looking at is the MSC, and they're not the best, but this one's got like a 5 out of 6 rating or something for the ships. The ships are always nice. I guess it's Italian company, so they say it's not the best. Oh, it's good to see you. Crazy, huh? Is that Dolly? Is that what? I know you got Dahlia. Hola, guapa. Yeah, Ruth is always trying to slack and trying to say, "Oh yeah, I'm not pretty. I'm haggard and all this stuff," And for us guys, we're like, "Yeah, um, super super guapa." Yeah, I've watched a few of your shorts and liked them, Dolly. So I don't know if it's Dahlia. Is that the actual name, or maybe your nickname's Dolly, Dollie, or whatever. So I hopped in there, watched a few. I was at church earlier and stuff, so I mean I've not been able to watch the lives as much today. Yeah, so my mom had dementia as well because what happened was she had a vessel that was bulging. Okay, Dolly, Dolly. All right. For whatever reason, I don't know why you got your name as crazy. I doubt that. But I guess we're all crazy in our own ways. So I showed everybody else, my blood, vesseled eye. For some reason, I think I whacked myself in my eyeball while I was sleeping or something. Maybe I just rubbed my eye while I was sleeping, and some reason this is better. It was a little worse, or it was a lot worse. It was about 3/4 of the way. That side of the eye was like all red. It's just like I get up in the morning and I'm looking in the mirror. I'm like, what in the world? Sticking eyes bloodshot. So that's okay. What's weird is I don't feel anything. Now for a little while, sometimes if your eye gets puffy. Sub to at Boang, huh? Yeah, so crazy Boang. So what is the not so bad crazy? So I know Boang is supposed to be like a negative type of crazy, like if you're a Looney Tune. But is there somebody that's just like goofy Boang? Yeah, Stone Cold was retracting. Yeah, and I just subbed to somebody else, and I played them for a little bit earlier. I'm trying to remember what her channel's name was. Yeah. So, are you? Do you sub to that guy from Canada named Cray Cray, Cray, which is weird. I don't know why he calls himself Cray Cray because he's anything, but he's just like super chill Canadian dude that just like randomly goes live. And he was out walking. He was like in a super nice area overlooking a lake with the mountains in the background and stuff. He says he's on the western side of Canada, so I've never been to Canada. I don't know if I'll ever will be. If I go on a cruise up that direction, then maybe. But I don't have the money to just go like driving up there and cutting across like Alaska or something. I don't have a vehicle that would really do that. I mean, my truck's okay, but it's only a 2-wheel drive, and my other car is a little smart car. So you lost Bambi, or is that a different dog? Oh, okay, that's Flora, not Bambi. Yeah, I know Bambi. Yes. Yeah, Stone Cold keeping the name. No, Bambi did not pass. I don't think, luckily. Yeah, I don't have any animals. Once in a while, a spider will get in my house or something. I'll put a leash on it, go for a walk, walk it out. Yeah, so I had a dog named Turbo, and I ended up giving that dog away because I was gone at work all the time for like 12 hours a day, and it was just not right. I didn't have a second dog or anything, so I gave the dog away. It's the best dog I ever had. It wasn't trained necessarily, but it was a good dog, good mannerisms. So if I was ever to be able to come out to Australia, where is the best town to visit? Sorry, I'm like shaking my leg around here, and it's causing my couch to make noise. This is not an actual leather couch. It's just like that. I think they call it naga hide. It's like a fake but durable type of leather looking stuff. I don't think it's vinyl. Right. So you still there, Dolly? I'm guessing you're maybe you're Filipina. We're down to two, so it's probably just Joe and Daniel again. Who knows? I'll end up probably doing the live just for probably like an hour and a half, 2 hours. It doesn't matter. I know I don't have a whole lot of stuff to say, even though I'm rambling on, but I figured just. Yeah, I like the smaller stuff sometimes. I'm not big on big cities, so. Oh, sorry. Let me. I'm gonna shift this camera slightly over. And I don't know if this is straight because I've got it at a slight angle. It's the cord that goes up to this light. It's those ring lights. Um, the cord, it's a decent length, but it's only so far, and I have to go back behind the couch to plug in because it's just got a USB end. And I paid very little for the lights, but they get the job done, so that's not too bad. But I just have to have it closer, which is probably for the better anyway for the audio. And that way I was able to reach behind me and get to the plug and plug into the USB port. And then the other one's off to my left, and it's plugged into the wall off to the side over there. It's kind of dark, so I don't. There's no overhead light or anything in this room. It's basically just you can plug into the wall, and it's one of those where you have a switch on the wall. But I don't have a proper lamp. I'm ghetto, so it's the way that rolls. But yeah, I mean, if you were like, I'm sure probably Melbourne and Sydney. I don't know what. I don't have no clue like what's on the coast. Because I've never considered to have the ability to get out there to Australia. So I don't know. I'd probably get there and they'd try to kill me with a COVID shot or something. Yeah, that's fine. They've probably got their own streams going. I'm just thankful that she popped in, because I just recently subscribed to her like yesterday. So I was on that Cray Cray guy's live stream. I just was swiping and I happened to see it wasn't even his face. It was just him showing like the beach kind of. What was it? A beach? It's more like a rocky area. Super nice though. It's like real clear water. And he was just out walking. He had to go to work at 4:30, but he was like chilling and walking around. He decided to go live, and everybody's just out there watching him. A bunch of Filipinos came into his channel, so yeah. So what city would be halfway decent to visit? I mean, where are you guys? I don't because all I know is Australia is pretty good size. If I was to get down in that area though, I'd also want to go to New Zealand. I don't know if that's hard to get in. I guess they probably let you come in for maybe a week or two or 30 days or something like that. I've not checked into any of the stuff. The only places I've looked into, if when I can finally break free from all this, is like Thailand. Want to go to Colombia, so yeah, no, he's not anything special or whatever. He's just, I think because he visits a lot of their channels and gives them support. I think they came and visited him. That's the only reason. So they're kind of, I guess, returning the favor. But there's a lot of random female, and he just gets there and he just starts like making everybody a mod just about. That always backfires. Yeah, New Zealand is like next level. So is Australia similar in any way to New Zealand, or is New Zealand just like Fantasyland? Because I know they filmed a lot of stuff out there. Yeah, there's Daniel saying it's like big time different, huh? Yeah, so you're in a really small town. So the city I'm in, which I won't name it, um, it's probably 850,000 people. I'm guessing at this point, not just the city by itself. Yeah, because usually they have somebody that you'll end up making a mod that just is some troll piece of garbage, and they'll just start blocking everybody or doing just who all manner of stupid. So gotcha. Yeah, New Zealand's yeah, because I mean, you see the like a lot of that stuff that they shot doing Lord of the Rings, and it all got filmed in New Zealand. And I mean, there's some pretty dang fancy areas with the mountains and water, all kinds of stuff. Yeah, so the city I'm in is huge, and it's pretty busy. You know, it's mountainous area, but I don't. It's Yes, I mean, it's like I don't hate where I am, but the problem is one thing I just recently noticed. So if you look south out of this little window I have that's against the wall, so this area that's open all the way to the top ceiling, there's four small little 2 by 2 foot windows, and they all come around. I'm trying to see if I can get this to pull up. Sorry, I'm in it. Once it disappears, I prefer if it just kept it on the screen. All right. Yeah, so I just turned it on to where it's on all the time. Um, but yeah, I mean, one thing that was cool I thought of is one of these days, if I went with my friend, we could, if we were rented a car or something, we could drive and do like this gargantuous loop around New Zealand. And at one point, it didn't look like it was that terrible. I think I could have gotten like a week long thing for like $1,500, but I don't. That's not including the flight, so God only knows what that would cost. But yeah, I mean, it'd be cool just to go down there, but I'm sure I could not even handle the political environment that's down there. Maybe I don't know. Who knows? I have no clue what New Zealand's about, but I've seen random videos and stuff of people that live out in Australia and some of the stuff they had to deal with back when COVID hit and everything. They were sitting there chasing people on roofs to stab them. That's a big no go for me. I'd have been slicing people's throats and chucking them off the roof. But anyhow, that's another story. So yeah, one of these days I'll get out there. But I mean, the first place that I'm looking at is because of the close distances, like Colombia or something like that, or Peru or something in South America. My friend wants to go back down to Mexico, but I'm not real big on that. Um, just because all the cartel nonsense, and it'd be my luck. It'd be the first time I go out there visit, and some clown will try to kidnap me or something, and I have to kill people. But yeah, so if I can get down there to Colombia, um, try to hit one of the smaller towns. The thing I like about the Colombian area is all these cities are so spread out, and they're like completely different type of environments. So you can have tropical because you're on the beach in one city, but then you can go up in the mountains, and that's where like Bogota and stuff are, and it's like 65 degrees. I don't know about year round, or 65, 70 degrees. So it's kind of on the cooler side. And that's the type of weather I'd go for. But it's nice to be able to drive and hit a beach once in a while, at least. Yeah. So you said Victoria. Yeah, I don't know a whole lot about Australia. I just, see the typical videos and stuff. People talking about the outback. So I guess certain areas you probably go to the interior of the country, and you probably have some like super harsh conditions and desert and death, spiders and whatever, God only knows, scorpions and every manner of something that wants to kill you. Yeah, so the area I'm in is kind of, I guess it's considered desert slightly, but we got a little bit of green, but it's kind of dead looking out here, but you do have some nice mountains. Now, if I went further west, um, that then it gets really nice. In Colorado, you go further west. If I ever travel, I'll end up doing that. Yeah, yeah. I remember you. I think I might have subscribed to that guy. Um, I can't remember. You were mentioning it, so I might have. I'm not sure. So, but yeah. So I mean, it'd be cool just to get down there, though. At least have something. So if I was trying to get my friend to go down there with me, and just like if I could have sold my house quick enough, or at least had a chance at selling my house, we would have gone down to Colombia possibly, or he's like I said, he was wanting to go Mexico. And the only reason he wants to do Mexico, he's been there a few times, right? Not free. Yeah, so is he has his vehicle and he's making payments every month. So he wants to drive his vehicle down to Mexico and be able to have it there and drive it around, which I think he's on crack. Because it seems like the chances are high that even the government are so corrupt, they'll just confiscate your vehicle. So I mean, to me, it's crazy if he tries to do that. Um, if I'm going to another country, I'm just gonna walk around or whatever. I mean, that doesn't cut it if you're trying to go out into the countryside and stuff. Obviously, nice. And that was in New Zealand that he was on the boat. I'm not sure how far New Zealand is. I don't know if it's like a few hours flight or something like that, or a boat ride to get over to it. Yeah, I'm wondering if I don't have my other phones. I moved them over here. I have like a backup phone that's I can use to check on things, but I stuck it on another couch. So the way I got things set up in this room is one couch is against the railing, which is that way. Um, okay, yeah, New Zealand. So I got a couch, and then I got my TV and stuff is at an angle in the room, and I only did that. It's kind of a temporary setup because I was trying to have friends come over, and been given a couch that was pretty nice. It was halfway decent. I got this couch for free as well, so I took my old couch and put it downstairs, and it's getting tore up. But anyway, so the couch, so I have it set up so there's like enough room for like 5 people at least to be able to sit and watch a movie with me. So I was going to try to invite people over that are part of our singles kind of get together group. A bunch of us old people that are haggard. So that I was planning on doing that, and just I've got like a audio file system set up, so it's not like an actual movie theater, but it's pretty big speakers, so it kind of gives me some pretty awesome sound whenever I'm cranking it, watching a movie. One of the better movies audio wise that I've played recently was that Tron Legacy. And that thing, I mean, it's got some like multiple moments all through that movie. That sucker's just, if you have subs, it's going to shake the house down. It's just cranking. And I got that thing turned way up. 4 hours flight. Gotcha. Yeah, 4 hours to New Zealand from Australia. Yeah, it's one of these days I'll be out there and work that in. Yeah, you see a lot of these different YouTube channels that are out there making they got the dream happening. They got one guy, Vagabond Awake. He's pretty good, but he's got tons of information you can buy, like his booklets and all this stuff, which are probably well worth it because he's already done all of the trial and error in all these different countries. This looks like a lost one. So I'm guessing maybe Daniel had to bounce. I don't know. Um, but yeah, so it's just the way it goes. Got different places that I'm hoping I can try to get to as soon as I can break free. But it's kind of frustrating because here my dad's in a weaker state right now. He's been disabled since he was 26 years old, so he's weak, and he's 74, which is to me not old. But when you're disabled already, that doesn't help. And so he lost a bunch of muscle mass for some reason, and he's been struggling to like get up and things. So I'm worried that I may be, I may have to go down there and take care of him and help him out, and I might, not get to go do the slow traveling like I was planning on. It's just the way it goes. Life just kicks you in the teeth sometimes, and you just take the punches. But if I was to do, let's say week long or so cruises, and if I could just get enough money up, maybe once every other month or something, just go and do that. That would be cool because at least I got something happening, and you just make some content on the ships and stuff, and so that one cruise, it's got two stops in Mexico, and then like I said, I think one's Cozumel and the other one is something else, and then one stop in Honduras, and that one was like I think you can get like an 8 day, so you're spending like 2 days going across the Gulf of America, and then it's kind of hopping down and around, and then you get 2 days coming back. So, man, of course, I never did tell anybody to like and subscribe, but I'm sure every single person that's visited liked. I'm seeing 4 of them. Maybe I missed one of them, but that's all good. So anyway, I don't know if what time is it by you guys? I know the Philippines is like probably 12 hours for me difference, and I'm guessing maybe it's 2, 3 extra hours, from there to Australia. But yeah, I'll probably end up. It's showing 5 likes. Yeah, so on my end it shows 4, and that's the same thing I noticed. It's weird. It's 4:27 p.m. Huh? So what time is it in the Philippines? Is it like 2 something or 1 something? Obviously, since I'm in the live, I'm not going to try to back out into the main screen. Yeah, so 2 hours, huh? It's just weird to me because you go from an Asian country, and then 2 hours over, you're in English speaking Australia. You know, it's just like couple different worlds in a way, but so close yet so far away in a way. Yeah, they do speak English in the Philippines, but if you were in Thailand and all the rest of those, there are a lot of Asian different language countries all around that area. Yeah, it's 2:28 p.m. So I'm sure Ruth had to go, do whatever somewhere, you know, probably had to go run down to the store. Yeah, it's weird. We have Aldi. We have one location here of an Aldi store. So y'all have those out there too, huh? It's kind of like a discount grocery store in a way. I've only been in it one time, the one that's over here, um, but I didn't see a whole lot of products there that were I would consider healthy. Maybe a few. So I didn't really bother. Yeah, Elizabeth. So when are you going to possibly be able to go visit, or is it going to be a permanent thing? Going over Joe going to the Philippines. And which city is she in again? Did you say Cebu? I think you mentioned Cebu. Shoot. Yeah, I mean, I would try to spend at least 6 months out there in person with the individual. Like you can never truly know a person without being face to face with them. So I would. I mean, I don't know if that's possible to be over there that long, but you're talking about a whole future, 2 to 3 months. All you can do is hope for the best. Like I won't even bother trying to get into a long distance relationship at all, and I won't date any chicks around here. I mean, I'd say 95% of them are lunatics. I mean, you got some women that are normal; they're just women. But you got people that are, because of the whole culture and everything that's gone, off the rails. People have lost their minds, so that's why I don't even bother. Because a lot of times a guy, what seems to be happening out here is, you get some guy gets married, and next thing you know, the girl just takes him to the cleaners, or makes his life an absolute nightmare. Either divorces him later and takes everything, the laws and stuff in America, they just basically let the guy get thrown under the bus. Yeah, how cold? I mean, does it get cold out in Australia? Or is it strictly hot? Is it like 80 degrees plus, all the time? I don't think I've ever seen snow in Australia, so I doubt it. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe New Zealand gets some snow. So like me, I'd be worried. Like if I kept the house, there's no way I'd be able to do that anyway. But if I was to keep the house, I'd have to have tenants because it'd be my luck that something, like the heat would just cut off while I was gone for 2, 3 months or something stupid, and then I'd break pipes and my house, whole house would be destroyed. Because we can get pretty cold, out here. Yeah, I would probably, almost strictly do a lawyer based prenup. But you have the way I think, I've heard is that you need to have a lawyer for both parties, So, like, I know it would cost more, but if you have a lawyer that's representing her and you, like separately, each have a lawyer, which sounds stupid, but if you did, that makes a prenup possibly more ironclad so that you could defend yourself if anything went stupid, you know. I've heard of people getting prenups in America and it just amounted to nothing. Literally, they just let the government just let them, the woman just take everything, just about. That's why I don't even know if I would get married at this point myself. It just the. But here's the thing. That's part of why if I just got rid of the house and stuff and just sold everything off, just about, I would end up with an RV because I'd park it at my dad's place on his property, and I would live out the RV while I'm in America. So, oh, so it's fairly cold out there too. Yeah, so you don't want something happening to where trying to get the chat comes up for a little bit and then it pops out. But yeah, you don't want to be gone, and then the next thing you know, like your heat cuts off or something, and you got broken pipes, and you come home to a freaking sauna or something, and black mold, fungus growing through the whole place, turns into a stinking jungle. You got the Philippines in your place. Hmm. Daniel spitting out some history. So anyway, I might go maybe about 10ish more minutes or so. That way we can just cut it off at about an hour and a half. I know it's nothing fancy. I'm not doing anything special. I'm just sitting here staring in the camera and rattling my mouth off. But I just figured I would wanted to at least try to get a live in there and hope that anybody I knew could show up, which at least five of y'all did. So that's good. So we got Stone Cold, Daniel, Ruthie, Izat, and Dolly all showed up. So that's cool. It's something. I mean, my channel, it's like that. I don't. It like I said, I got 83, maybe 84 now subscribers, and a lot of the subscribers they just did it to be nice. I think which is cool. you take what you can get. Anything's better than nothing. If I'm not putting content out, they got nothing to look at in the first place. So eventually, I'll get that going and actually produce something. But one thing I might do is I don't know if I'm gonna, all this work I've had to do on this truck. One thing I might want is my channel. I want it to be about slow travel, but the thing is, I can't slow travel at the moment. With the stuff going on with my dad. Um, so one thing I thought of is I like the topic of trying to live as inexpensively as you can without, being in the gutter. But I kind of like that whole concept. And so I can incorporate that with, that's what that stands for. My channel is actually called Life More or Less. So it's basically about the two opposite ends of things. You can try to be chasing all this stuff, and that's the more, or you can live off of less. The more crap we get and gain, the bigger the chain is around our neck with an anchor hanging off of it. And it kind of leaves you, stuck. Whereas if you got rid of all your stuff, then you're free. You can do what you need to do. You can go where you need to go. It is nice having a home base. But if you're, if I'm wanting to do what I want to do and travel, well, what point does it have, of having a house? Unless I rent the house out. But the problem is the debts I have, I'd have to sell the house in order to kind of get rid of the debts. But now the way things are going, I've got a bunch of my credit cards just got destroyed because I could not sustain making the payments on everything because I took that big hit with my income trying to go and help my dad out and stuff. And then because I was gone, I couldn't earn regular income. So it just, double whammy, but whatever. You just take the punches in the gut and roll with it. So when do you think you might make it out there to the Philippines, Joe? You said 2-3 months, or I mean, even if you were able to get out there for just like a short stretch, like if it was for like 2 weeks or a month or something, I don't think the flight would cost that much, huh, to fly over there. So the Philippines are actually closer. Is it closer to Australia than New Zealand? That would be kind of weird. I mean, but wouldn't surprise me. For me, it's a whole, like, for me to go to the Philippines, that's a whole, like, a massive, if I took a flight, which I don't plan on it, that's a huge, ordeal trying to take those flights out there. I'd be hopping through all kinds of countries. I'd probably be better off just to go, like, from here. It's about $1,000 or so. It cost me a fortune. But if I was to fly over to Australia, maybe, which I don't think that'd make any sense, I'd be smarter just to try to work a cruise in and end up in Australia, then fly from there over, maybe. I mean, I'm just trying to figure out what the best way to approach it. That way, I'm not paying a fortune because I don't have money to burn. That's for sure. 6 hours. That's not too terrible. I mean, it takes me sometimes longer than that, just because a lot of times there's a layover, or I have to switch planes, just for the flights to be cheaper. So in America, and I'm not sure if you've ever been to America, but it's obviously gargantuous. To try to get just a flight going down to my dad. Now, if I get lucky and I had the perfect flight, I think it's like 4 hours, 3 hours, who knows, to fly. But usually what happens is you take like a 2-3 hour flight initial, stops somewhere. Sometimes they send you stupid stuff. Like it could be like me going from where I am in Colorado up to like Chicago and then down. Or they can send me down to, a lot of times it's Fort Worth in Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas. And then it's like an hour extra flight or something to finish going over to Mississippi. Flying's obviously much easier. Come on. Yeah, so Australia, I guess, is was it colonized by Britain or something? Is that how that all came to be? 7 to 10 hours. Wow, it's pretty good distance there, I guess. It's pretty decent. Yeah, so I'm not sure. I'm sure it'd probably be smarter to go the other direction. Who knows? So Colorado is a little bit towards the western side of things over here in America, obviously. Um, Maybe 2/3 of the way over from like Florida and such. But I don't know what the best approach is. I don't know if it's smarter to fly west or to fly east. Not quite sure. I mean, you just basically put where you want to go in, and then they fly you the fastest way they can, kind of. But I think it'd be funner to take a cruise ship if I could find one that's the right type, and then I'll just take the cruise out. Let's say you end up in Tokyo, and then maybe try to take a flight and go from Tokyo into stuff like Thailand or Vietnam or the Philippines. That probably, because I think once you get out there, then it'd probably be much cheaper to just fly short distances back and forth around Asia. So, but yeah. So anyway, yeah, we got. Look at me, my eyes are all poofed out, man. I'm falling apart, y'all. How old did you say you were, Joe? Did you say like you were 56 or 57 or something like that, or 54? Yeah, Australia is probably pretty huge too. So is Australia still attached to like England somehow, or Britain, or is it its own thing now? Obviously, I didn't bother trying to learn the history of Australia. 2 months out there, and next April is your when you're going. Yeah, 2 months. I mean, the thing is, if you consider like simple hotels or something like that, that's probably the easiest way to go about it. If you're not doing Airbnb or something, I think that would be the better approach. Now, there's a guy that he is. I don't remember which area, but he is an American. I think he's 72 now, and his channel is called Expensive Expat, EX, and then the second word is PENSIVE. So was pensive means um, like stressed, I guess, and so it's a play on words. And so he's saying he's no longer stressed, expensive, and so his channel is Expensive Expat. And what's awesome is he rented a house that was like a broken down, crappy looking house, and he is paying $36 a month. Oh, gotcha. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just reading your comment, but anyway, um, So what he does is he actually and rented this place, right? And he just does it year by year. He pays like $452 a year, and it was a broken up looking concrete house, but it was at the beginning of a road, and it had a like a, what do you call it, cinder block wall all the way around it. So what he did was he got the whole property cleaned up. They helped kind of clean it up, the owners, and he's renting this house, and he had to do electrical work. He completely like fixed the interior on it and the exterior. He put a AC unit on this place, and then after he got all that done, he's doing all this with his um, it's not his pension. He doesn't have a pension. I don't think he's doing it with his, what do you call it? The Social Security that we get in America. So he only gets $1,900 a month, but his, based on his budget, he only has to spend $600 a month all in. All the rest of it can go to this other stuff. So anyway, what he's doing is he built an apartment on the side of this place. Of course, it wouldn't do any good if it's not near, where you need to go. But it's the concept. So what he did was he built it on there. So he's going to be able to do like a little simple. He's not going to put it on Airbnb, but it's just for like, if any of his viewers want to come out and hang out and visit out there, he built this place, and it's got AC in it. It's got a washer dryer out back, a kitchen. It's like its own little apartment on the side. And supposedly he spent $3,500 total building this place out. And it's not even his place, but he's only spending $452 a year renting it. So what he does is that's his home base, and then he's able to just run around either the Philippines, or he's able to go to Vietnam, wherever. And he's literally living the dream now. He was on the brink of death. His doctors were telling him he was going to die if he didn't knock it off. He was a contractor in America, and he was like literally killing himself with stress. So anyway, his channel is pretty awesome. It's a very small channel, but the information he has is next level. So anyway, I would just be trying to find an inexpensive hotel because it's easy. You got the utilities included for the most part, and if you get the right hotel too, you can get like daily breakfast. So I think if you played it right, you could probably get away with $600 a month, or something. I don't know what it would translate to Australian. I think Australian is more expensive, right? Maybe your dollar is worth more. I don't know. I've never been out there, so I couldn't figure out the exchange rate. But anyway, got something on my chest here. I think I got some crumbs from when I was eating these chips earlier, tickling me. So anyway, I'll probably end up ending the live just so you guys can get to doing something more important, I'm sure. Appreciate everybody that came in, though. I'm at an hour and 33 minutes here. Last time I went for about an hour and 45, my first live, and that was just, New Year. So here I'm like 7, going on almost 8 months in from that point of doing a live, and I'm finally doing the live. Nothing fancy. Now, if I can get another scooter or something like that for cheap and fix it up, then now I have that little smart car. I'm still fighting with the guy to try to get the title, which he did get the title initially, but there's a little hiccup or whatever. So when I can get the title finalized, I can finally get that little smart car I have registered. Then, and it's a convertible top, what I was going to do is I was going to go run around. Only 40, huh? What do we get for America? Is it like 58, 60 cents or pesos per dollar? Something like that, I think. I haven't checked recently, but anyway. Then I might do little runs and run to mountain locations and stuff, and drive my little smart car and stick my 360 camera out the top because I have a convertible. So I stick my convertible top down, stick that out the top, and try to hook my microphone on. And microphone's pretty good at cutting out wind noise and all that stuff, so I should be able to get decent audio. Yeah, that's what I thought, around 60. So that's what I plan on doing is if I can at least do little runs to, it's not a full vacation, but if I could just do little stuff that's like maybe run for a day or so into the mountains and run around and get some footage, that'd be kind of cool. Show people Colorado, because it's pretty nice if you go to the right locations. So, anyway, see, I'm back down to one again. Appreciate, you hanging in there, Joe, and, coming in. And Daniel, Daniel did pretty good too, sticking around, because a lot of times he's hopping back and forth. I don't blame him though. The Filipinas are always prettier. But yeah, so hopefully everything works smoothly. If I get any information about, stuff, which city was it again? You might have told me. Was it Cebu? Is that where she's kind of around, or is it Davao, Mindanao? I don't know, wherever. There's a lot of big ones. So I'll just see what you tell me and then get the live stopped. That way I can. Yeah, I mean, I was surprised Daniel. He's stuck in there a lot. He's probably back again. Are you back, Daniel? Yeah, it went to 2 and went back down. But yeah, if I, of course, I don't know if you follow that girl Ruth. Her channel, I think you've seen it. It was called It's Rudy. I don't know if you said you subbed to her. You subbed to the crazy girl or whatever, Dolly. But Ruth is awesome. Her channel. Outskirts of Cebu. Gotcha. Cebu, whatever. Yeah, so if I come across anything that's, good info on how to get some accommodations out there that are decent, then it might make sense. So we'll see. But anyway, I'll try to, do live, something more interesting. The problem is, like, I have to do the stuff at night. You said it's like 4 something, maybe 5 something right now over by you. Right, no sharing. That's good. So the thing is, because of the time difference, I try to, if I'm going live, I was trying to be live whenever everybody's awake in Australia and in the Philippines, and not probably too busy. So it's hard because for me, I have to wait way later, So I started my live after 10 o'clock. Or even 10:30 or 11, whatever it was. I might even been after 11, because I know at least everybody's going to be up in Australia and the Philippines. That's about the only people that I would probably have, show up, because nobody, my friends of mine and stuff, Gotcha, Airbnb maybe. Yeah, so I mean, my goal is to whatever I'm doing, I'm trying to do it as cheap as possible without being, in a total gutter. But there's ways to, make things work, especially in foreign countries. If you play it right, you can really make it happen. But I think like getting certain hotels and stuff really works. If you do it just right, you might be spending $15 a night, $20 a night, and then you might get free breakfast on top of it, and and it's a lot of. I mean, in America, a free breakfast isn't. Yeah, I could probably start earlier. The thing is, even if I start, let's say at 8 o'clock or something like that, it's not going to be light out. No matter what, I'm going to be running lights. I'm going to be inside. So what I mean, otherwise, I'm just going to end up doing. If I do the content, I'll just do, driving and showing off the mountains or something and getting 360 footage, and then I'll just upload it as a regular video. So, right, yeah. Luckily, I don't have anything medical going on myself, thankfully. Even with that wreck, we all walked away from it. Luckily, My dad, he took a little more of a beating, with that accident, but that's because he's disabled and he's very weak. So it threw him around the truck. But anyway, so all right, we're at an hour and 40. Gosh, gotcha. Well, I appreciate you hanging with me all this time. So we're down to just the stone cold, keeping it real. But yeah, so I'll jump off of here and I got to figure out. I think I have to hit this X up at the top. Yeah, the Airbnbs, if you get the right one, it won't be too terrible. But a hotel, you don't want the gutter, but a hotel might sometimes work out a little better. I mean, it's not as nice. So I know I had to keep my mouth rolling, that way I don't bore you all to death. But yeah, so I'll end up stopping the stream and I appreciate it. I'll try to, actually do live streams, more often. Maybe I could try to work a schedule to where I can just do it once a week or something. And it's not that I don't have time. It's just I'm just, slacking off. So, all right, appreciate it. We'll talk to you next time, Chief, and we'll make it happen. And maybe there's something more interesting than just, you know, maybe I could flip the thing and I could start early in the morning, and it would make it opposite, so that it'd be your evening, maybe, or something. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I'll try to get it, and that way I could probably do something around Colorado, and actually let people see, some of the areas around where I am. All right, Chief. We'll talk to you next time. And here we go.